Unlocking the hidden secrets of the family soul, a breakthrough for coaches and healers. We're still on the module of wisdom, and today's lesson will be about wholeness. So this for me is where I had to do my biggest mind shift, because wholeness is embracing all that is, which is the path of true healing. And this will be difficult for us when we judge, when we have these blockages within ourselves to embrace all that is. So I'm inviting you into this lesson and open your mind and see what you can take in that'll work for you. Healing is not about fixing what is broken. It is about reclaiming wholeness. Healing is not about fixing what is broken. It is about reclaiming wholeness. And I've repeated this because I really want us to understand that. Healing is not about fixing what is broken. It's about reclaiming wholeness. This is key. As coaches and healers, we often meet people that feel fragmented, which is why they come to us, disconnected, or stuck in repeating patterns. They search for solutions, trying to remove pain and erase memories or fix what feels wrong. But systemic wisdom teaches us a deeper truth. Wholeness comes from embracing all that is, not from exclusion, but from inclusion. And this is where I think we have to do the biggest mind shift, because we are living in a world where everything is about exclusion. So I want you just to relax. In this lesson, we explore how to guide our clients towards deep healing by restoring balance within the systemic field. And let's begin. So maybe this will now explain to you the first module that we worked with, the family soul. I should have maybe put this module before the first one, but I thought of doing it this way around so that we could get into the family soul and then understand the wisdom within which we actually live. Let's start with the journey to wholeness. As we've already said, the meaning of wholeness means healing through inclusion. Think of a tree. Its strength lies not in its branches reaching for the sky, but in its roots, some visible, others buried deep in the earth. And the same is true for us. Wholeness is not about removing what is uncomfortable. It's about acknowledging everything, our past, our pain, our lineage, and finding peace within it. Oh, this is a lot. In family systems, fragmentation occurs when parts of ourselves or our ancestry are denied, hidden, or unacknowledged. This can create inner conflict, repeating life patterns, and a sense of not fully belonging. And we've spoken about belonging in our first module. But when we restore inclusion, something shifts. Suddenly, we are no longer fighting against parts of ourselves. We are embracing them. Our sense of wholeness does not come from cutting away what we don't like. And this is what is being practiced in norm of the world today. Nor from pretending certain parts of our history don't exist. Instead, it comes from recognizing that everything, our joys and our struggles, our triumphs and our pains, belong to us. Why is this so important? Because when parts of ourselves, our history, our family lineage are ignored, denied, or excluded, they don't just disappear. They remain active in the unconscious field, showing up in different ways, often in patterns of suffering, inner conflict, or unresolved struggles that seem to repeat across generations. Imagine a family where a grandfather was deeply shamed and rejected for his choices. His story is rarely spoken about, as if removing him from the narrative would erase his impact. But instead, what happens? Years later, a grandchild may feel inexplicably lost, disconnected, or stuck in self-sabotaging behaviors, carrying an unseen burden that belongs to a family member they barely knew. This is how exclusion leads to fragmentation. It's not just about personal wounds, it's about systemic disconnection. How does fragmentation manifest in life? When wholeness is disrupted, it can appear in different ways. Inner conflict. A person may feel torn between different aspects of themselves. One part striving for success, while another sabotages every effort. We know that. Then repetitive life patterns. They may find themselves in cycles of unfulfilling relationships, financial struggles, or self-doubt without understanding why. And then the sense of not fully belonging. There may be a vague feeling of emptiness, as if something is missing. Because something is missing, an unacknowledged piece of their systemic story. For example, consider someone who constantly struggles with self-worth and feeling invisible in relationships. When they explore their family system, they discover that an ancestor was cast out and forgotten due to cultural societal norms. By acknowledging and reintegrating that lost ancestor, by simply saying, "You belong, I see you, and I honor your place," they begin to feel a deeper sense of self-acceptance and confidence. When we reject, we continue to struggle against. What we acknowledge, we can integrate. What does it mean to embrace inclusion in systemic healing? Inclusion does not mean approving of every aspect of history or every action taken by those that came before us. Rather, it means accepting reality as it is, without judgment, without resistance. It means recognizing that every member of a family system, no matter how flawed, has a rightful place. It's about understanding that pain, trauma, and struggles are part of our lineage, but they do not define us. And by allowing ourselves and our clients to move beyond victimhood by stepping into full ownership of all that we are. A simple yet profound shift happens when we make space of what was once denied. It is a shift from "this should not have happened" to "this did happen and I now acknowledge its place." This act of acknowledgement creates a sense of systemic balance. It allows the stuck energy to move, bringing flow back into life. What if we lived in wholeness? What if, instead of fighting against part of ourselves, we choose to embrace them? What if we stopped carrying unconscious burdens and instead found freedom in acceptance? What if we allowed ourselves to feel fully connected to our past, not as a weight, but as a source of wisdom and strength? When we practice systemic inclusion, we no longer live in opposition to ourselves. We step into life with all our energy, all of our presence, and a deep sense of belonging. And this is what we as coaches and healers can offer those who serve, not a way to escape or erase, but a path to reclaiming our full selves. I invite you to reflect. What have you been unconsciously excluding? What part of your story, your lineage, or yourself is waiting to be acknowledged? Because when we choose wholeness, we choose freedom. Everybody wants freedom. That is, we have to choose wholeness. And healing is simply the process of coming home to all that we are. And now I invite you to join me on the next lesson. See you there.